PWM 프로투어 지난 이야기 데이2의 우승을 차지하며 다크호스로 떠오른 WGS 아레나와 젠지골드, 맥스틸매드 등 상위권 팀 간의 대결이 펼쳐진 데이3. 1라운드 초반 이동 중 사고로 인해 C9 선수들이 2명이나 제거되며 팬들의 탄식 속에 경기는 시작되었습니다. 중후반으로 이어진 경기, 예상대로 기존 상위권 팀의 활약이 이어지는 가운데 반전은 갑자기 시작됐습니다.
균형을 눕히고 오른쪽
좁혀 나가요.
바로 오른쪽
설마
바로
레클로가 이거는 대박이야.
팀클럭스 레클로 선수의 슈퍼플레이로 전멸하고만 WGS 아레나. 더불어 조용히 순위 방어 중이던 C9 쪽으로 자기장이 연속 형성되는데요.
없는 모양이에요. 자, 캐시가 일단 슬금슬금 바깥쪽 연막다 바깥쪽인데요. 성이 뛰었어요. 성이.
7킬을 거둔 석 선수의 하드캐리에 힘입어 개막전 22회 클라우드9이 1라운드 우승을 차지합니다. 이어진 2라운드, 서기만 살리자라는 명언과 함께 시작되었습니다. 하지만 서기를 미처 살리지 못한 C9이 9위로 탈락하고 최후의 순간 아프리카 페이탈과 젠지골드의 풀스쿼드 대결이 펼쳐졌는데요.
진짜 공격적인데요. 그 박스 안쪽 박스를 얹어 먹었죠. 그렇지. 그런데
심슨 선수의 빠른 위치 선점으로 2라운드에 승리를 차지하며 종합순위 1위를 달성하는 젠지골드. 이어지는 다음 전장은 바로 에란겔. 초반 자기장이 밀리터리 베이스와 내륙 지역 중앙에 잡히며 해안가 지역에서의 대난투가 펼쳐졌는데요. 깔끔한 교전 능력을 보여주며 기분 좋은 출발을 하는 콩두 레드도트.
깜짝 놀랄 경우가 많아요.
머리 봤거든요. 뛰었어.
하지만 이후 좁혀오는 자기장과 함께 다수의 팀들이 탈락하는 가운데 마지막까지 해우소에서 몸을 숨기고 있던 맥스틸매드가 젠지골드와 WGS 아레나를 정리하며 종합순위 2위에 등극하네요. 이어진 마지막 라운드, 1위 젠지골드와 2위 맥스틸매드의 점수 차이는 단 75점. 두 팀의 치열한 순위 대결을 기대했건만 최상위 두 팀의 다소 빠른 탈락과 함께 4라운드의 치킨은 팀 클럭스에게 돌아갔지만 꾸준한 순위 유지와 총 33킬의 압도적인 공격력을 보여준 젠지골드가 PWM 프로투어 데이3의 최종 승자가 되었습니다. 그리고 이어진 데이4, 젠지블랙, 아로즈 센츄리온, OPGG 헌터스 등 3대 리그 우승팀의 만남으로 팬들의 뜨거운 기대를 모았는데요. 긴장감 속에 시작된 첫 번째 라운드. 경기 초반 다수의 교전이 발생하며 생존자가 조금씩 줄어드는 찰나 OPGG 헌터스의 선수 3명을 기절시키는 젠지블랙의 그라마틱. 이후 앞길을 막는 모든 적을 격파해내며 젠지블랙이 1라운드 우승을 차지합니다. 2라운드에서는 그동안 숨죽이고 있던 루나티카이가 대활약했는데요. 풀스쿼드였던 MVP를 강력하게 압박하는 것은 물론 숲풀 사이에 숨어있던 아이언맨의 진입까지 막아내며 이번 시즌 최초의 라운드 우승을 거두는 데 성공합니다. 이어진 3라운드. 앞서 부진했던 아로즈 센츄리온의 반격이 시작됐습니다. 연막탄을 적극적으로 활용하며 안전지대를 선점. 마지막 이지피즈만의 돌격을 잠재우며 3라운드의 우승을 차지하는 아로즈 센츄리온. 그리고 마지막 4라운드. 꾸준한 활약을 보여주며 종합순위 1위를 달리던 팀 MVP가 조기 탈락하고 말았는데요. 이 기회를 놓치지 않고 무려 13킬로 전장을 휩쓸며 1위를 차지한 젠지블랙. 화제의 대진 데이4의 우승자로 등극했습니다. 33킬의 젠지골드, 38킬의 젠지블랙. 젠지 형제팀의 무서운 기세를 확인할 수 있었던 2주차 경기였는데요. 이어질 PWM 프로투어 본선 3주차 마지막 대결에서는 과연 어떤 흐름이 이어질지 지금부터 함께 확인해 보시죠.
Welcome back, everybody, to another great day of PWM, Pro Tour here. I am Valdez. With me is Joel Sophie to bring you guys the casting. It's going to be a fun day. We're getting down to the third week of PWM, and this is going to be the deciding week. Who makes it into the final match? Who makes it into the wild card match? Everything is on the line for these two last days, Joel.
We're already halfway in. I'm about to get to the last week of the regular season matches. We'd like to decide the wildcard placements. Also, the finalists will be decided after Wednesday, and it's really exciting to see the kind of the dominating teams way up in the front. Of course, the other teams are trying to get through the middle of the pack, trying to get back to the top of the placements as well. You always want to have an early ticket going to the finals and not have to face the wild cards in order to get to that position. So interesting for me, Valdez, is that which team are going to continue to pull it through? Are the top teams going to continue to dominate and the middle of the pack? Can they rise up to the top after this week's matches?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about all the favorite teams, right? The Gen.G teams, no secret there. And as you guys saw in that opening video, in first and third place are both Gen.G teams. Gen.G Black on top, Gen.G Gold in third. We didn't really get to talk about some of the other teams that were at the top, as obviously the most popular teams are going to get mentioned first. But WGS Arena, kind of coming out of nowhere. They weren't one of the big top teams in Korea, but now they're in second place, and they're threatening that top side. Also, Team MVP in fourth, right behind those other three teams. And not to mention all the other teams that are up towards the top, Joel.
And teams like WGS Arena need to be put on a hold just for a bit, even if they are second place overall after 2 weeks. The third week should really tell us whether WGS Arena has what it takes to get through the placements and really get to the finals on a good hold. And we're going to find out these unknown teams, what they can really pull off in terms of being consistent, trying to do well until the very last day. And we got 2 more days of regular season. We'll get to find out. Alongside the good teams that we've had expected good results from, are we going to get the rather unknown teams really just stick around at the top there as well?
Well, we're going to take a look at all of the teams that are listed here. And guys, you may notice that we lost our 40th place team. That was actually WNV from China. They decided, well, we're not doing so well. We have a bunch of excuses. We're just not going to play anymore. So they decided to exit the tournament, unfortunately. So 39 teams left over, Joel. I suppose that gives a better chance to some of the other teams in a small way.
It also goes to the fact that OG and Force are not the worst team in the league.
Yeah, that's good.
They're a little bit above the other Chinese team with Fire on there. But WMV, they also had their own regional Chinese qualifiers they had to do, trying to participate in their own regional qualifiers and trying to make sure they get to the best rankings they can. It was on the same day as PWM today, so they chose that, over the Korean side of things, and thinking that they had enough practice during the Korean realm. They felt like they wanted to now compete on a real level against the other Chinese teams, and we wish the best of luck to WMB, but definitely will not be seeing them for the time being in PWM.
Yeah, you guys see the top 20 teams we have here in PWM. These are the teams that they feel a little bit more comfortable overall. Obviously, they still have to have a good performance, but especially the teams in the top 5, the top 10, they're feeling pretty good about their position. You'll notice many familiar names, even ROG Centurion in 10th place. They won PSS just the other weekend. Bon Spirit Gaming Luna in 8th. So a bunch of these other teams that are trying to get in, as well as Team Klux, our only amateur team here. Currently sitting at 11th. Not a bad spot, Joel. They
placed first last week around in that week 2 and did good enough to just place them right well above the top 11 placements of the entire tournament. And talk about Gen.G Black, Gen.G Gold. We expected them to do well. Putting them at first and third is not too much of a surprise, as we see the top kills going to a lot of these players. But Sexy Pig's going to be way there on there. And Isco coming from VSG Luna. We talked about the aggression they bring to the tournament. Him and Wicked is going to be topping the lineup in that 3rd and 5th spot.
Hey, take a look at some of the other names. Lambatan up at the top, 23 kills. That's an insane number. Some of the names you mentioned before also on the down but not out ranking, or how many times you knock another member of a team. Isco up at the top. Godman and Sexy Pig make a return to this list.
Looking at Shadow as well. Forget Freaks Ares doing a lot better in their counterparts, and see what they can do Isco, we want to talk about this guy a lot because he thinks that the way to play PUBG is to get pushed through your opponents and get your chicken dinner by force. And it's not the typical mindset of every other PUBG players out there, but Isco and the rest of BSG Luna want to take that approach and see how successful they can get. They've done well for over the past couple of weeks, but they've never really been on top. And that's the thing that we want to keep asking them the question of, can they make their playstyle work out and kind of create a new chapter of what the perspective can be of how to play PUBG.
Yeah. Looking at the damage rankings here, Shadow makes a return from a Freaker Freaks Fatal up there at the top, actually, way ahead of the second place, Sexy Pig, about 802 damage, actually, ahead of Sexy Pig. You also see Dewi from a Freaker Freaks Aries up there. Papo, one of the most fun names, as well as Easy Peasy Man, rather, up at the top. And, yep.
Will be today's matches. Going forward with today's 19 teams. We talked about WMV no longer being a part of this tournament for PWM. As we'll see the other 19 teams fight it out with groups A and D combined. And day 5 will be the last week for these teams right here, these 19 teams that you see in the screen. It will be their last week to fight against the regular season and see if they can make it to the final right away, or if they have to go to the wildcards to get that one more stage in order to get to the finals in the end.
Yep. Of course, MK Gaming, I'm not sure if we mentioned it before, but they decided to take the day off. They were also down towards the bottom. They were part of Group A. They're not going to be joining us today. And unfortunately, without those points, they're almost definitely not going to make it into the wild card. So you can kind of say goodbye to MK Gaming as well, unfortunately. Looking forward to the dynamic of, Cloud9 versus Genji Black, and also you got Bond Spirit Gaming, Luna coming back, a very aggressive team. Certainly, some of these teams up towards the top are going to be fighting against each other as we get to the later stages of every round.
Team Clux currently 11th place overall, looking to pull off another week of good performance, and that could shoot them way up higher and could get them very close to this team right here with Genji Black currently at the top of the league. It really hasn't been rival other than their sister team being at 3rd place. Talking about WGS Arena, still need to be on the lookout for how good that team actually is, but we'll get a better indication once we start to get them see their plays starting this week.
Yeah. You see that everybody is there in the PC bomb, just very close to where we're at. We're going to take a look at a comparison between Team Clux, our amateur team, and Genji Black, the team that's currently on top in 1st place. You'll notice that, obviously, Genji Black's numbers are going to be a lot higher here. Not sure exactly the comparison we're trying to make or what kind of story we're trying to tell, but at least Team Clux is doing very good for an amateur team.
And it's just the 1st place team from their respective groups, and to come here from last week, because Team Clux didn't have the best performances in week 1, but week 2 they got that 1st place overall, and that's going to be the comparison looking at it. So kind of the statement being made here is that if Team Clux played the same amount of success in that week 1 as well as week 2, we could see them on a very much the same level as Sexy Pig and the rest of Genji Black. But what they're really showing in here is that Leclos has been the main carry. He's been the hardcore threat against every other opponents that they were facing against Team Clux, and very close to Sexy Pig in terms of the total kills and even the knocks. Damage not too shy away from it either, and really talking about Leclos and the rest of Team Clux, see what they can do this week. We'll get a better idea of what this team is made of.
Yeah, Leclos obviously with the fantastic play. He came behind WGS Arena, if I'm not mistaken, and took out all 4 members by himself. 1 grenade, shot another guy in the back, and then finished off the last man standing. So I remember when he went into the interview, he was very humble. He's like, I'm just, the backup supporter guy on our team. I'm not the star, but yeah, I had this fantastic play. Excited to see what they can do again today, especially after they won that game just the other day on Wednesday. Seems like they're slowly improving overall.
But I think it's enough for Genji Black, a team like where Genji Black has done so well throughout the season, is that they know what it feels like to win. They know what it feels like to taste success, and they know how to replicate that over and over again. But team like Team Clux is that this might be a new feeling for them, just being on the top of the table in week 2 and kind of expected to do it again in week 3 as we stand here today. Team Clux might not be able to do it again just because of the fact that if it gets to their head, thinking that this just came through a routine performance, it just really never is going to happen again, because it's not, never think anything was on an autopilot, and you have to talk about Team Clux trying to do it again with force, and the other team's going to be more aware when Team Clux is around to see what they're going to be able to do. So Team Clux has to get a fresh new mindset as to what they did in week 2, kind of study that over themselves and try to replicate that in week 3 as well.
Yep. Good points, Joel. But guys, we're ready to go into TPP for Miramar, so let's jump into round 1 right now. Here we are, day 5 already. Feels like the time has been flying by. It's been a lot of fun casting with you, Joel. I'm excited to get into another great day of games, of rounds here. And the flight path, let's take a look at that. It's very much on the western side. So Asterisk gonna have a little bit of a hard time getting all the way over to El Azahar.
So that means that RG Centurion, of course the champions of PSS Season 1, gonna have a hard time getting to Puerto Paraíso, down at the southeast corner of the map. Gonna have to probably find a vehicle to get to their position. Gonna see them kind of jumping out already with Larm, getting off the plane, trying to get a vehicle as soon as they can, trying to get to Puerto Paraíso. The quicker the better. Of course, you do want a little more time to farm out your area before you start moving on. And Fire, also a team that has gone to Picado at times, going to be jumping off early, kind of indicating they will not be returning to Picado against BSG Luna.
We've seen what happens when Fire tries to fight with BSG Luna. Generally not very good things, as Fire, most of the time, they've just been shut down really hardcore, like 4 members going down or the majority of their team being shot down if they actually try to fight up against them. And what it looks like right now is that Picado is going to be given over to BSG Luna, with Lunatic High Flux heading more towards the middle, perhaps heading in the direction of La Bandita.
Chumacera being shared by Rocket, Imp, and also Africa Freaks Fatal. You can see the other teams kind of traveling a little bit north, and Torreal Almada and Cruz de Valle wasn't too far off, so those 2 teams, Asterisk and OPG Rangers, will be able to get to their respective positions. Probably not have too much conflicts there, but now, are we going to get the conflicts on different cities, though? This is going to be the important question because we already see OJ and Entis Ace and also Zonk Gaming landing around El Pozo, and we'll see what that means in terms of the early game. But look at the circle. My goodness.
Well, you were talking about ROG Centurion and their Puerto Paraíso, but they're going to be happy about this circle for sure. It's right there, right above Puerto Paraíso, and it's quite nice for the teams that also like to go for Los Leonas. I talked about Asterisk earlier, how they're kind of the El Azahar team, but they're going up towards the north, actually, to fight with Blossom and OPGG Rangers. So changing up their path just a bit, Joel.
And kind of thing with the circle landing right above your city, you do get mixed feelings sometimes because you talk about more farming time is going to be allowed, and you're going to be able to farm out the entirety of where you start off your location, but also means that other teams going to be looking towards to get into your city just as much. And for RG Centurion, if they're going to be starting out in Puerto Paraíso, obviously Hyman is taking the long approach, trying to just run out there. But it's more important to know that defending out your city is going to be just as difficult as you would really appreciate to have that city to begin off. But actually, RG Centurion will feel stressed at the same time that many people will probably come to Puerto Paraíso to see what they can make out of it.
Taking a look at Los Leones, only 75% of Nightwolf's team went there. I think that's a bit of a mistake, as they only have 3 members. It's not 3 out of 4 members that dropped there. It's actually the entire team of Nightwolf. So we will have 11 members taking up Los Leones. And as you mentioned before, very much in the middle of the circle, and there should be a lot of action around Los Leones unless the next circle is just way out in one of the corners. And because already the southeast corner is all water, it's definitely, or most likely, not going to be down there.
And for these 3 teams, I think one of the strategies may be is to just farm out the area early and get enough of what they need, and probably move to a more terrain area, and just know that once they are invaded by other teams trying to come to Los Leones, they will not be there to farm that out. But you talk about the percentages over there, Valdez.
They're always very confusing because MKG is not playing today. That must have been from previous rounds.
And it just means that they landed at this Monte Nuevo area 50% of the time. So, other times they did go out to different cities and try to farm out different areas, and also showing us that other 50% of the time, they try to risk themselves at Monte Nuevo. But when you have Genji Black on the mix as well, it becomes increasingly difficult to get that done.
Ruitang here is vaulting buildings right now. Parkour just a little bit.
The indicator with the Korean writing that he says there. Ruitang believes that even with a 3-man squad, we can do it just as well as the other teams, and he's very eager to show that to the fans, and really important once Nightwolf does get their 4th member eventually, probably in the next season. They probably will get stronger because the supplementation, trying to have that extra man when you don't, it's going to make Nightwolf feel a lot stronger for their matches to come.
Taking a look at El Pozo, we got a couple of teams here. Janentis Ace, one of the teams here, as well as Zod Gaming sharing El Pozo. And El Pozo, you know, it's got pretty good loot. It can support 2, maybe maximum 3 teams if you want to fight a little bit. But they're really far away from the circle, so it's not going to be great this time around. We are going to have our first engagement, perhaps. BSG Luna, they love to fight. Are they going to shoot down a Freak of Freaks Fatal as they drive by?
But this is only the 2 members of BSG Luna, as the other 2 members are still down at Picado, so Freak of Freaks Fatal has the whole party in this pickup truck right here. So if you are the BSG Luna, who's been splitting up 2-2, trying to get the initial location down, you don't want to start off a fight, and Freak of Freaks Fatal can be very aware to how to play this one once they get attacked here.
Taking a look at some numbers. The purple means you're top 5. The red means you're above 50%, above average. And, well, it's the #1 team. It's Gen G Black. They're, of course, going to have some pretty sick numbers. 2 knocks per game, as well as over 2 kills per game for Sexy Pig. He mentioned how he's kind of the attacker for the team, the scout, the guy who goes out there first. And with numbers like that, you can tell that he gets the job done.
377 per game. That's a lot of damage. Would probably equal to more than 3 kills worth of damage in terms of how much dare you purely put out. And also looking at RG Centurion, DDSG has been a disappointment more than anything, but he's always been the shot caller and trying to be that in-game leader, putting the discipline onto his teammates, and that does well for their team. And RG Centurion, not a bad performance right now in PWM overall, but of course they're winning out the PSS Season 1 as the champions. I think they want to do better and try to get close to the top of the league as much as they can.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, you need to perform on the final day, right? And as of now, they're in 10th place, so as long as they get a decent shot in this round, or rather in this day, they should be able to make it to that final day. We're finally having some teams fight up against each other, as it seems like the majority of the teams have chosen the southwest rotation. Everybody went kind of south first and then came in from the bottom west to come into this big circle rather than just driving straight into Los Leones. Definitely the safer rotation, but at the same time, lots of different teams are trying it.
And when everyone takes a safe rotation, it no longer becomes safe, as it becomes extremely crowded, and the choices being made by most of the teams is to go below Los Leones and not really travel through the city. Can be a good idea, but when everyone has that good idea, as you mentioned earlier, Valdez, this leads to a lot of conflicts and a lot of encounters in the early game. Of course, the no team really wants to force that out. Very much the very first parts of the game here.
Yeah, we're getting a bigger zoom in of exactly this rotation. C9, this time around, they have all 4 members. Nobody's been caught out just yet. Thankfully for them, they were able to win a round after taking 2 casualties earlier on in the round. So with all 4 members, they should have a much better time.
Don't change us taking some shots. Shouldn't be too much of a threat for the side of BSG Luna. It's just shooting with the hologram, but Detonators, they played this before, around that hill, just below the Puerto Paraíso area. We've seen them get that done, do very well on that. Didn't get the kill that time around, but it shows a good idea of what they can do. But Team Plus is on the same mission here.
Yeah, they're more towards the center of the circle, fighting up against Sandbox, Recon here. All 4 members of both teams in this location, so we could have a straight up 4-on-4.
Okay.
Oh boy. Catch the first one, or one of the first ones to be knocked in this game.
Sees that Shadow just trying to wait for the peek out of the head. One more Car 98 towards Dingception could have been crucial there, but doesn't really get it on the move.
It's going to be a rough revive here onto Eureka. Actually, he did get behind that ridge. and got rezzed at that time. It looks like it was actually Catch that got knocked, and Eureka doing the reviving. Either way, this is TPP, and Shadow, the guy who has the most damage dealt, I believe, from the stats we got earlier, is doing that damage and gets another knock for himself.
Should probably help. Just padding on the average of the damage he has done every single game here up to week 3. And we are now in week 3, the last week of regular season before we get to the finals. And of course, the wild cards right before that. Could mean that these players, once they put out their individual rankings, will be a threat. Once they see them on the kill feed, they have to be a lot more cautious for the other players, just knowing that the good shooter is going to be around the flanks there.
Puerto Paraíso has been pretty much totally looted here by ROG Centurion. Now they're looking to make a move up the mountain. Not playing the safe route where they could have just sat there in the city, as nobody was really coming in. Only Isco had made his way towards the south of the city. They're now going to be moving out.
Just really looking at the kill charts as well. BSG Luna have been about aggression and really has not backed out from any specific fight. They do say in their interviews that they're only picking the fights they know they can win, but seems like a lot more fights than the other teams combined. But taking the share of the loot here, trying to see any 5.56 ammos, and also along with the energy drink, bit of scopes as well. Just making sure that everyone is ready for the next encounter to come. They are right at Puerto Paraíso. The circle closing in. We'll get to see where the next one leads to.
Yeah, this is going to be a very important moment. If it's in the south, okay, it's going to be right there near the center. It's got a fair bit of water as well. I'd say about 30% of that circle is still water. So should have a lot of fighting up there on the hill as teams try to get locations. Retri actually going to be the first death that we have as he gets blown up in a car.
74 players remaining. We're still going to get 19 teams, of course. Remember that one Chinese team was not going to be participating in today's match, is it? Okay, Lunatic Eye Flux and ROG Centurion just trying to get a move on. Both inside the circle at the moment. They're just trying to get to a more preferred position to get ready for the defensive strategies before the circle starts closing in and the teams start encroaching in. But so again, Figure Fix Fatal almost get blown up a car here.
Oh, there it is. 4 members of Rocket Im just get blown up. This is why vehicles can be so important. If you fit everybody into one truck and you get blown up, well, there goes your entire team. And immediately we're down to 18 teams, Joel.
Rocket Im. You put 4 people into one vehicle. Don't even get shot out of the vehicle, but you just get the vehicle blown up, and that's the remains. Rocket Im right there. The funeral is going to be tomorrow, and they're going to be ready for the attack. And make sure they don't do it again in the next rounds to come.
That's really fantastic for Fatal too, because they kill the entire team. Memory also going to be knocked down here by C9. Eureka going to complete that kill, having a bit of fight against Detonator as well.
Seven King very low as well, so Fire just trying to travel along the paths. Didn't know that C9 was going to be in the area, and saw them getting the knock there. But more importantly, Fire, how well can they get away from this situation? Just going to throw down the smoke, and C9 decides to peek once again towards that path, and I feel like Fire's going to lose another casualty here.
Yeah, Detonator taking it very slow. Just proning up the hill here is Dochi. He's got some eyes on Seven King, in fact, but Seven King wants nothing to do of this entire fight. As you can see, he's just trying to run away up the hill.
A little bit separated there, Fire, and Seven King just trying to get back to his teammates more than anything, and C9 gonna be around the area just looking towards their path. We're also looking at Detonators as well. They're gonna be the 3rd member within that mix. Ilgo just trying to look towards that direction, trying to find out where all those shots are coming from, and Seven King is going to find a rock for the time being, and he's going to take an energy drink, and things such as still on the search here.
Yeah. It's kind of an awkward spot, but it's good for scouting, right? You can hear a lot of footsteps. It's TPP, so you can peek up the hill. If you want your team to have any shot of, spotting C9 and actually coming from 2 sides as well, you can put on the aggression onto C9, who's kind of trapped in this compound.
Okay, Seven King, if he's doesn't make himself heard, not going to be easily found out of his current location by C9. They only have 3 members against the full squad of Cloud9. This means that 9-3-0, and the rest of the Chinese team here with Fire to just play with their locations wisely and make sure they have the better edge towards C9 if they do choose to make the fight happen.
I love Fatal's position. This is actually a really fantastic compound. You got a lot of broken walls, you have bushes. I mean, even Shadow has his Car 98 already and has been putting that to use. Look at his scouting spot we were talking about before, 7 King. Doesn't look like he's gonna take any shots just yet, but he has eyes on exactly where Dingception and Suck are going.
Now attaches the 4x go and back to the red dot on that Scar. And I was thinking about it for a second, but it is quite a bit of distance, and once he makes himself exposed, he's not aware of exactly where the other members of C9 are. Was right behind him, so could have been in dangerous situation. I think he has good discipline. Show that up here.
Oh, that circle, though, all the way in the top right, up towards Impala. A lot of teams we haven't been looking at too much are up there. You got Sandbox Recon. Up here you got Genji Black, in fact. 7 King finally going to take some shots at Eureka. The other 2 members of C9 already were making their way in cars north, and they were really good to do so because they got a head start on getting into this really hard circle.
You talked about the initial rotation for most of the teams went below Los Leones to get to the southwest of the initial circle. Now, most of the team kind of occupied already at the south, has to travel north, and it's going to be a tough rotation for so many teams. Going to have very little information as to where the other teams are located, and going to see a lot of encounters and might see a lot of these kills coming through in this mid-game here.
Taking a look at Kakao TV. Over here, they still have 4 members left over. Yanni was able to get a kill earlier on. Kakao TV hasn't had too much success just yet in PWM, but now they're in a good part of the circle with not too many teams behind them, with also a decent position.
I mean, that edge play will be really difficult for Kakao because a lot of teams will be making their entrance through that area. So, you know, they can defend against 1 or 2 teams, but when 5 teams all together make the rotation at the same time, Kakao's position is no longer be as valuable. And, you know, what they have to do is that have to go to find a good position and make sure it is a position that can defend down, but they have to keep in mind the information that most of the teams are going to be traveling from the south to north.
Yeah, we'll see if any teams make that western rotation to come behind them. New2K, he's got a silenced Car 98, trying to make things interesting behind Eureka. As well, he's got some eyes. And finally, Suck is going to be knocked down here by Moto-K. Going to finish the job, and that will mean 1 member of C9, especially the ace member of C9, gets taken out early.
C9 just went for the center rotation once again. This is what we were talking about. Most of the teams traveling from south to north, and C9 was one of those teams, and they did not know and was not aware of what teams might be around the specific location, but they just really blindly rushed towards the center. They do survive 3 members, but it's mostly important to Suck, who is a top fragger for that team. It's going to go down in this position in the game, and that could really cost them as they try to make their approaches here.
Well, you got 3 teams all trying to make the same rotation from the southwest. Freak of Freaks Fatal. I like their position earlier on, but now they're getting into the heat of things, up against 2 different teams when they don't necessarily have to. You got Fire, one of our Chinese teams, as well as Zod Gaming, having a bit of fun over here. New2K gonna get another kill for his team, takes out 7 King.
Right outside the circle, we're still looking at Zod Gaming, taking a look at Fire, and also Freaking Freaks Fatal on the right as well. They have eyes on Zod Gaming.
They have so many eyes, all the eyes in the world. They can really light them up. Gonna already knock down New2K, one of their really important members. Moto-K here has that level 3 helmet, so he's gonna sustain some shots there and actually win the firefight against Jaden.
They are fighting outside the circle, and Zod is gonna be the only one outside, while the other members of Freaking Fatal have to feel nervous about the fact that they can't stay here in this position forever, and to just move through with the Shadow. He's gonna be shooting from the other side towards Kakao as well.
There's a reason this guy is a top fragger. He just turns around and shoots at Kakao, says, hey, nice to meet you. I know we weren't really fighting earlier on, but I'll just pick up another knock here.
If he sees anything, he's gonna go for the shots, and there you see another knock coming through. Dingception after losing Suck from C9.
He's angry.
You have to be kind of alone, while the other 2 are standing their position right at the center, and it was a good circle that opened up for C9, and you're gonna try to hold on to this position as much as he can, but has to be ready for Dingception to join in with the other two teammates once the fry picks out.
Yeah, pretty good spot here for Afrika Freaks Fatal as well if they can get into the circle. It's what they're currently trying to do. Finally get a look here at Genji Black, who are just inside the circle with a nice little compound. You see Sandbox. Okay, hold that thought. It looks like a couple of members were just taken out by Wicked on the other side, and we lost our second squad as Fire, one of the Chinese squads, does go down.
Fire has been struggling all day long, and this game won, losing to C9 in that first instance, and had to move their 3 of the members. Couldn't survive against BSG Luna in the instance. Gonna be back on the action for Media Bridge, trying to fight against some of the members here with Shadow. Still looking like he's gonna be fragging up the kills here.
Yeah, still taking some fights. Jading gonna go down, as well as a couple of members of BSG Luna getting knocked, but Isco able to fight back here. And Afrika Freaks Fatal gonna be totally knocked down as the rest of them go down here to do 2K and the rest of the Zod Gaming squad.
Afrika Freaks Fatal were so focused on Kakao that Zod Gaming heard all the shots coming in, had that information going in. They felt very good of just striking them from the behind, and Detonators are gonna have a hard time against BSG Luna, but you know, the point I was making earlier, Afrika Freaks Fatal, they had to be aware of so many teams around them, but were focused on just on one direction, and really caused them with them going down at 17th place here.
BSG Luna doing a decent job of gatekeeping Detonator, but they already lost Aqua 5, and they are not inside the circle. Isco, he's been having a bit of fun. You talked about how he loves to get aggressive. He likes to fight through enemies, take them out one by one as he gets the chicken, but see what he can do.
What?
Seu is trying to shoot through the wood, and it's working. That's definitely a bug. Not sure what to tell you guys, but you can't shoot through wood as far as I know.
I tried it before, and it only shoots wood.
Yeah. Circle going to be really nice for C9. And Media Bridge MCN, a team that generally doesn't like to get too many kills. They like to just avoid everybody. They've done a little bit of killing, as they killed one member of Lunatic High Flux here at least.
Mira's just trying to stay alive, but you say that Valdez, Media Bridge MCN, a team that doesn't like fights and they don't like aggression, but they're going to go up against Lunatic High Flux. And Genji Black starting to get their frags up. They're trying to get the kills in their rankings here, but they're going to go up against Sandbox, trying to collect the kills that they can.
Okay, going to find one member of Astric here is Eureka. An easy pick on him. Looks like he's using an AUG too.
He was an AUG. I think it was a suppressed AUG even.
Yeah.
Heard a weird sound coming from there, but Odin says looking towards the direction of Genji Black to see what kills they can find, but Yunrud has good sights upon him.
DDSG in the kill feed finally finds himself a kill here onto Astric VZ. So he's finally pulling some of the weight for his team, ROG Centurion.
Genji Black on the corner of this circle right here. Doesn't have too much distance to travel to get to the next circle. This means that the forward players have to be aware of their situation and try to get any opponents out of the way in order to get to the next spot there.
RG Centurion took a very clean fight up against Astric. It looks like nearly all of them go out. Actually, I think the entirety of Astric did get killed, so nice pickups there by ROG Centurion.
And says they were fighting against Genji Black earlier, but still looking towards that direction and sees Grammatic in that scope, and is Mike able to get the knock here from Chris's.
Should be able to. Just a couple more shots will do it. One more, and down goes Grammatic. Being very aggressive out there in the open, and he will get punished for it.
We're trying to make that rotation to get to the next circle, but really had a hard time against OG and Entasace right on the right side there, and Chris is still looking towards that direction where 3 of the members of Genji Black are still going to be in the mix here.
See Dingception gets knocked as a bunch of people in the crowd say no, please no. Larm trying to fight here against Katz is going to win the firefight. And Eureka goes down too, and that's going to be it for Cloud9. They get taken out relatively early here in, I think, 13th place.
RG Centurion does not get to survive many members, but still going to be fine to get that kill onto the rest of the members of Cloud9, now going down around 11th to 12th place. And Genji Black still fighting it out here, though.
Aries doing a ton of work, picking up a lot of kills. Larm is very low, and Blossom's member 424 is able to come in and knock him down and will get the kill. It gets very low, but Blossom able to win the fight in the end.
DDSG, the last surviving member now for Audrey's entrant after his teammate did go down. Hyman is going to be knocked away, but the circle opening up is going to be right on the center. Nobody's really on that because everyone's been playing the edges for that previous circle. They were so busy fighting against so many other teams, and Genji Black and Entasace have been all around, and DDSG might find the last member of Klux right here with Leclos on the side here.
Yeah, Leclos is him, and DDSG, it's all he can do. Gives it one last shot, but it does get taken out. That's the nature of TPP as well. It's a lot harder to just hide there up against a rock. Sungjung now trying to take a fight against Esther, gets dominated.
Nicely played there, just peek back and forth, and really had the member of Entasace right on the open there, and see what they can get off here.
Nice grenades, gonna take out Temeria. They really need to take out Entasace behind them before they make this rotation.
This is outside the circle, so the fight has to be concluded before they get movement in. So whether it's gonna be Genji Black or Entasace coming out on top, we're gonna see them trying to make an entrance as early as they can, but they really can't go with all the teammates and the enemies right in front of them as well.
$4 OK making his first foray onto the kill feed. Able to get a knock now. As, well, looks like Genji Black is making quick work of this team, but they really need to rotate here and get inside the circle. You see Sexy Pig gonna be the first one to do exactly that.
See that the resulting outcome was gonna be Entasace losing out versus Genji Black as a whole. And they're gonna be them trying to make a move in. Leclos gonna go down to that explosion coming from 424.
Aries also getting knocked here. Not looking good for Team Clocks, although Junsu able to fight one back with a knock, but the rest of the team gets taken out as Blossom gonna win another fight. Blossom actually showing up big here.
BSG Luna not scared to go into that one, and sees that last member of Kakao is gonna go down with Rage. Genji Black already made the rotation in. They're gonna have OPG Rangers to their right, and also Media Bridge trying to make the encroachment in. Obviously that is not gonna work out.
One burst fire from the M16, that's all that Sexy Pig needs. And you see what he's doing, he's making his way slowly around the edge of the circle, seeing what teams he can find. And he's gonna get even more shots down onto Blaster X.
Doesn't have any bullets left, 28 in total. Let's be careful, just gonna call for the teammates over, and they're gonna be allowing to dominate over OPG Rangers on that high ground, which is gonna be very good for these guys.
$4 OK has a Uzi out in the open. Esther gets knocked, and in fact now Genji Black is in between two teams, so they got themselves between a rock and a hard place, and that circle directly opposite of them is not going to help out either.
Saw the knock coming forward from Christus, the last surviving member of OG Entasace, out from the blue. Sanjak trying to get a kill as well, but Sexy Pig, they can survive Esther. They can really res him back to his suite. Just getting him, trying to move to the next circle and draft us. Trying to do that as well after they got that kill onto the last member, Kakao.
Yeah, this is looking really good for BSG Luna. Right now, them and Blossom. They and Blossom are actually the closest to the circle right now. Although Genji Black can still make it in, it's not going to be easy. I'm curious to see how they make this move into this small circle.
Still 5 teams here, and Zerachang is going to be all alone, so he's not going to make an aggressive movement in, and this means that he's going to be trying to med up without giving the kill away, so Genji Black has to make a move, and BSG Luna is going to be spotted, while Genji Black's going to be moving towards the circle as well. Blossom, he talks about them having 2 members, trying to get the first kill onto the OPG Rangers as well.
Yeah, Sarachong tried to make it in, and he goes down with his team in 5th place. $4 OK not going to make it through the blue. And you can see what Genji Black can do with these vehicles, but behind Esther, you do have BSG Luna. Fantastic shots, though. Gonna take down 1, make that 2. As he does knock Sanjung, but Sexy Pig and the rest of Genji Black, they've got BSG behind them. This is what I was saying.
But Yuru, they expect to finish off
gonna
BSG
do
Luna, and Blossom is going to go down as well, and really going to go give up the kill off to Blossom, who gets the win at the very end here.
Wow, Blossom, somehow, some way. That ended so quickly, I didn't even catch all the action, but I think BSG Luna was attacking Genji Black, and Blossom saw that, took out BSG Luna, and that was it. They were the only one remaining.
BSG Luna was very patient and disciplined to wait out for Genji Black to make the first fire across the circle, and that was going to be the opposite side of where they were currently located. Once they heard the shots come through and they saw the kill feed of getting the knocks, They were so close enough. BSG Luna got the knocks onto the 2 members of Gen G Black. You saw with that one with the shots and one with the frag grenade, and that just meant that Gen G Black were so now focused on BSG Luna, and the last one to be disciplined, the last one to be the most patient was Blossom on the other side of the corner, and they were able to get that last kill to finish it off and in.
As I mentioned, it was between Blossom and BSG Luna. They were the closest, but Blossom was patient enough to take the win. Guys, we're going to go to a 5-minute break before we get into FPP on Miramar. We'll be right back.